There we go, nice purple pen. We're going to recall factoring, looking for a GCF. So we know 24 and 18, they're divisible by 6. R cubed and R squared, they both have at least R squared. So as we do that, we're going to divide. We're going to get 4R will be left over. Right, if I divide by 6R squared and divide by 6R squared, remember what we're doing here, minus 3. And so kind of taking a step back to take a step forward here. And remember, if we already have this factored to this point, that is the greatest common factor. So 3x plus 2 and x minus 5. Remember, these make up that binomial. So this is kind of a step in the work that we have been doing. So there we go with reviewing a few things. Put all this together. Actually assign some of this as homework. So we're looking at the first two. The GCF of 6x squared and 2x. Well, that's going to be 2x. 6 divided by 2 is 3. We're going to take out one of the x's. And 2 divided by 2 is 1. So we get 3x minus 1. I need to get 3x minus 1. Remember, that's the key. So what's my GCF of the second two to get that? Well, it's y, and it's going to be positive y. So we get 2x plus y and 3x minus 1. All right, so let me color code a few things here. A lot of words off to the side. That's in case we have not done this at all. So our two GCFs create that other binomial. Makes it super fun, super exciting. That becomes our final answer. Doesn't matter how much more stuff we put in here. So when we're solving our trinomials, we usually start with x squared, then we have xx. So these might be a little bit different. Same approach. So 6 and 9, 3. H cubed they both have. So 2h plus 3. I want 2h plus 3 if this is going to work. So they're both divisible by 6. The signs, no change, nothing going on there. 3h cubed plus 6 and 2h plus 3. Now here's that second level, things we want to look out for. I still have a GCF of 3. So h cubed plus 2 and 2h plus 3. So this is one of those where it says factor and it'll say completely. So that's one thing we want to look out for. When they add that word completely, sometimes there's something extra to do, and here was that extra thing to do. Okay, since we're not doing a full trinomial factor, that might happen. Okay, what is the factored form? So again, you're going to take it right the way it is. All right, so we got 8 t squared, dividing those out. So we got our t plus 2. We want t plus 2 again. So 5 and 10, 5 it is. So 8t squared plus 5. My GCFs go together, t plus 2. And we get our final answer. You guys have done these, so hopefully this isn't too quick for that. So just think about what you're doing. 20 and 8. My notes are squared. 20 and 8, that's 4. So we got 5r plus 2. I want to get 5r plus 2 again. So this must be plus 3. 4r squared plus 3. So I'm just keeping an eye out now that my GCFs don't have a GCF. Nope. So 4 and 3, we're all set there. All right. Now what we don't want to do is forget about what's going on. Right? We look at a geometry connection. We're talking about the volume. So remember, the volume is the length times the width times the height. So we're looking at 3 dimensions. So we have x to the 3rd power. So the first thing we're going to look for is 60x cubed plus 34x squared plus 4x. Well, they all have at least an x. So if I'm going to divide by x, I might as well divide by 2 because they're all even as well. So here we go, 2. We got 30x squared plus 17x plus 2. So this is that part that's just going to kind of hang around. That's going to give me one of my dimensions. It really doesn't matter which one it is, so what represents the dimensions. So 2x is one of those. And then we're going to deal with 60 that adds up to 17. Well, that's going to be 12 and 5, so 30x squared plus 12x plus 5x plus 2. So that end really gives me a hint on what's happening here, because 5x plus 2, that's only going to be plus 1. So I'm going to need a 5x plus 2. So what do I have to divide by? It looks like 6x. So we're going to get 6x plus 1 and 5x plus 2. So those are going to be the length, width, and the height in any order. They told us to use factoring for this anyway. So even though we're doing factor by grouping, just remember this is the same thing, same process you've been going through with those trinomials. Alright, so can you factor it? Well, sure, we got 2q. So we get 2q squared plus 1. And I look at my GCF here, so 4q plus 1. Oh, that does not match. So can we factor by grouping? No. Alright, to be able to factor by grouping, we need the same binomial. Okay, we need a common factor. So there is no common factor. And that would be a good enough explanation, since we got 3q plus 1 and 4q minus 1. Ooh, almost missed that sign too. Good thing I took a chance to slow down there. So as soon as we see those signs, that's one clue. And then the other thing was, of course, the 3q and the 4q. A couple extra practice here. Maybe you want to pause and try these, and then let it play back. X squared, x minus 5. X minus 5, so that means we're taking out 2, x squared plus 2, no GCF in the GCF, x minus 5, so that's all set. Whole bunch of extra variables, same thing going on. Okay, 3, we both have an x, so 2y minus 5. I really wanted 2y minus 5 again, so again I'm going to write that right away. That means they both had plus m, so it doesn't matter what variables, still looking at the same process. 3x plus m, 2y minus 5. Dun, 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 dun. What do we got here? Y, because I want to know. No, just kidding. That's the GCF. Y. X plus 4. Really want x plus 4 again. So we already know that there's a sign issue going on. So it definitely has to be negative, and it's going to be negative 3. Y minus 3, x plus 4. Gravy train. Doesn't get much easier than that. So all sorts of variables, all sorts of stuff going on. First 2, 3. So we got what, 5x minus 1z, 5x minus a z. We need that again. So what do they have? Plus y. 3 plus y, 5x minus z. And guys, it doesn't matter how complicated these things look with all sorts of variables. If I simply FOIL this back, I need to get the problem I started with. If that doesn't happen, then something's wrong. Okay, so if we take a quick check here, 15x. My outside is minus 3z. My inside is plus 5xy. And my last is minus zy or yz. So it checks out. So it doesn't matter how complicated it may look. If we end up with the problem as our solution when we FOIL it, then you're doing it right. Not a problem. All right, factor completely. So that means you might want to look for a GCF of your GCFs. Anytime I see an X on the end, I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. Okay, so a lot of these, we're trying to throw some extra stuff at you. Last two, notice there are only 3 terms, right? Trinomials. It means you want to factor it the way we have been. But again, they have this variable on the end. So all these guys that I have circled, they're going to be looking for a greatest common factor of the greatest common factor, or you can take it out at first. The order doesn't matter, but make sure it is factored completely when you're done. All right. That'd be all, folks.